Okay. uh. What up, YouTube? It's me, Rizil, back on the channel with another reaction, and today we are going to be doing a BURR reaction. It's going to be a try not to laugh challenge. Maybe not. Let's just do the try not to laugh challenge. And it's going to be titled, or it is titled, I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, it is titled Roasting Black People for 10 Minutes. Am I right? It's called Roasting Black People for... Yeah, Roasting Black People for 10 minutes. Again, I think I've explained in the previous BURR reactions, I'm a big fan of his. So this might be a situation where some clips I've seen, some clips I haven't. So shit, man. Without further ado, here we go, man. Let's see what he has to say about my people. wait.
I notice black people have the genius to put the curse word after they say the race of the person. Where white dudes, we always put it in front. And if we would just make that little adjustment, we could save so many careers, so many jobs could be saved in the white community if we would just put it after. You know, I've never sat in conversation and you're a black guy and you're like, man, I was standing there and this Asian motherfucker came in, he starts talking about, you don't even hear it. You just sit there, oh, what does this Asian motherfucker do? I would love to hear the rest of this story, right? Dude, I would tell the exact same story, right? I'm standing there, right? This fucking Asian comes in, right? Everybody's like, whoa, hey, easy. What year is it, you know?
Oh shit, wait. I actually do that. Before, like, because I grew up admiring a lot of like American culture, that is why I am the way I am, honestly speaking. I developed that form of talking because it was cool to me. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm realizing, even as he's saying this, that even when I post something on social media or whatever, I'll use that format to make what I say less offensive. You know, I don't just say, yeah, I do that. I do subconsciously do that because it's like, I don't want to be restricted. Like recently, I've even been I've been hit with social media strikes or something. They think I've posted something offensive or commented something offensive, and I just didn't do anything. I was just either promoting music or like, hey man, I have literally on my life, I haven't done anything offensive, guys. Social media is just getting way too strict, and I've used those type of strategies to lessen what I say, so people will be more enchanted by that form of talking. So I get what he's saying. Yeah, I do that. We do that in all African languages.
I just said what he said. I just preempted the fuck. That's all I did. He suggested he's hooking up with people's mothers. I'm not even doing that. It's just a quick, I got it out of the way. You guys saw the Pope die? Saw that, right? Everyone was flipping out, man. I thought that was a good thing. I was like happy for him, man. He was in horrible health. You know what I mean? Everybody just wanted the guy to keep hanging on. And people are still flipping, oh God, I think he's gonna die. It's like, well, I think he's gonna go to heaven. I mean, it's gotta be better than that shit. So they got a new pope now. They picked another old white dude, you know. And they were actually in the running was this black dude from Nigeria, right? They were actually considering making him the pope. And I was kind of hoping he was going to win, you know. Not because I give a fuck either way. I just want to see all the black comics doing bits like the next day, like, oh, white people scared now. White people is scared now. Yeah, the pope is black and shit. Could you just feel it?
I'm sorry. I have to comment on this one too. That does happen. I don't think I need to say that does happen, but it's not just in America when that shit happens. Like, it's not like when even Barack Obama or whatever became president. But even after, like, different clips of after apartheid or after different forms of segregation or whatever, all throughout Africa as we annexed ourselves from European powers, that has happened with white people that have stayed here, where it's like, it's sort of that tension of like, shit, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to black people. What's gonna happen now? You know, there's always been those tensions. For the most part, we've been cool with white people, but some African countries, they did do what white people generally fear we're gonna do when we get to power. So yeah, that does happen. That does happen.
It was like a half-hour material went out the fucking window the second they picked another white dude. It was endless. Pole mobile's gonna be pimped out, and you better not be shooting at this pole. The black pole will be shooting back at your head. Because when white people get shot, etc., etc.
Wait. I thought there'd be like even a different twist to that joke, but I don't think he would have been able to say it. I think one of the things a black comedian would have been able to do is say like something like maybe like when a white religious leader is in power, there's risk. The only risk there is I don't know, the Catholic, I don't know, rumors of like them sleep, not rumors, right? It was real. It was revealed that they were sleeping with kids, right? Those priests and all of that. And then in turn with like black priests and whatever, it's always a thing of like we stealing money whatever to fund our lavish lifestyles and say, oh, it's God, but in reality we're stealing from the church and taking advantage of people. I thought he'd say some shit like that. But maybe he doesn't know it, or maybe he just can't like go that far. Who knows?
So I sit down and I'm watching this documentary as a white dude, which is what I am. I'm looking out my white head, watching this white shit. It's coming back into my white eyes, getting whiter by the fucking second. Right? Now my wife, on the other hand, she's black, right? Now I hate saying that because it makes it seem like I'm starting doing some stupid comparison jokes. You know those dumb white guy, black guy jokes? And it's always like the white guy's like, oh Jesus, I gotta do my taxes. Can this chair hold me? The black guy's always like, you need to loosen up. You gotta relax, man. You just gotta let it happen. Right? It's always the same stupid fucking joke. I hate those jokes, you know, because they're easy. And it's been my experience that it's just not true. You know, 15 years of being with her, there's really no difference. You know, because at the end of the day, it's a woman. Alright? It's gonna be the same fights. I don't give a fuck who you're with. I'm not gonna lie to you. There might be more hand movement and hand gestures with different races of women, possibly an index finger jabbing at your forehead, whatever the fuck that is. But at the end of the day, it's the same fights. What's going on with us? You need to work on this. Why don't we communicate better? Right?
Okay, wait. Something that's things that just come into my mind as he's talking about different topics. Honestly speaking, in terms of that reference, it's still a woman. I find it relatively like that's not actually factual. Our women are a little bit more, honestly, African women are a little bit more tough, but they're also more respectful, I feel. You know? Like this thing of where he's saying like it's the same fight where she's jabbing at your head and all of that stuff. In Africa, that doesn't really happen. I feel like a lot of our women are literally trained like within the household to respect and to revere the men of the household, etc. They're taught how to basically the things that the manosphere is preaching about, the red pill or whatever, you know. So that thing, even the whole jabbing with the index finger and stuff, guys, I'm sorry to deliberate on, but in Africa, that would probably lead to an altercation in which the woman can't just run to the cops and say 1, 2, 3 happened. It's not like in America where like it's so like strict that a woman just has to see you looking at her and then she can say, oh, he's attacking me. Like I've heard those type of situations. I don't know whether it's true that, I don't know, some women, they just like falsely accuse men of doing shit and stuff. Like in Africa, a woman will get like, I know, like recently, a woman has been like within the church being hit by her husband, and all he got was a talking to by the pastor, and then that was it. He beat his wife, but all he got was a talking to by the pastor, and that was it. There was no running to the cops. There was no, oh, we gotta save her. There was different cultures, man, but I'm not saying that's the entirety of Africa, and I'm not saying it's that intense, but nah, it's different, guys. Our women are a lot more tough and have to deal with a lot more, and they're a lot more respectful, I feel, for the most part. Not everywhere, but for the most part.
Right? So she starts watching this shit as a black person, right? I know she's seeing all the racism, obviously, that I'm seeing, but she was catching all this subtle shit that I was too white to see, but I knew I was missing it, because I just kept hearing her huffing and puffing, just sitting next to me being like, and I'm just sitting there like, okay, somebody did something. I don't know what just happened, but I don't think that was good. So I've been seeing this girl recently,
Sorry. I just have to say one more thing. I've had that experience recently, like today, talking to he's mixed, like white and Indian, but like he's very white, like a whitish friend, let's say. Yeah, I've had that same experience where they don't know what really happens with black people and stuff. It's like they blind to it because they've never had to experience it. So you have to sort of explain to them. So I get what he's saying. You might not know. It's not your life experience.
This black girl, right? She lives up in Harlem, gone out like 3-4 times, First time we hung out like the Village area in New York, which is sort of like a racially mixed area. So she was cool, you know what I mean? Second time we hung out was more like Midtown, Then the third time, she called me at like 3:30 in the morning, and she wanted me to come up to her apartment, right? So it's 3:30 in the morning, she lives in Harlem, I look how I look, so it's a fucking situation. Yeah, because you know the deal, right? Basically, a white dude feels comfortable up to about like 98th, 99th Street, you know what I'm saying? The second the streets start getting to like triple digits, like 100, 101st Street, start getting like a little asthma, I'm like, ah, fuck, it's starting to get a little high up here. You feel that little tightness in your chest? Can you feel that? 106th Street, you're like leaning on shit, like, dude, where'd all the cabs go? How come there's no taxis up here? Dude, what's a bodega? I don't know what that is. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Shut the door. Get me some water, though. Come back. Jesus Christ. Yes, I'm a man. I asked you to do something. You're a woman. You go and you do it and you don't ask questions.
Phil, I swear to God.
So anyways, like I was saying, they're sitting there bitch moaning and complaining about all the stuff they don't have, but and it's like, you fucking outlive us.
Really?
You outlive us. Well, you know what? You have a birthday coming up. I know exactly what I'm getting you. Big bag of Fritos. You're an asshole. Yeah, so they're always bitch moaning and complaining about what they don't have, right? Do they ever look around and see what they do have? A whole fucking platoon of shoes, that their guy paid for.
I'll tell you what I have.
Right?
He's bad for a husband.
Oh, snap. 12 to 6 right there, baby. Hey, Nian, you know why I make more an hour than you? Because I'm better than you.
Actually, I had this black dude moved in my building, man.
What a nice relationship. If there's anyone that was to intermarry with us, I'm glad it's someone like BURR, bro. Thank you, BURR, for joining us. Thank you. You're not white. You're light skinned.
Lives on the same floor as me. He's one of these dudes. Every time he's hilarious. Every time he says something, right after he's done saying it, he repeats like the most important part of like the previous sentence. It's hilarious. Everything he said, I'll be like, yo, my man came in, he put that on the table. Put it on the table! Yo, this country's at war, son. War! I'm just looking at my friend like, dude, did you hear him the first time? Because I heard him the first time. I was smiling, I was nodding. Actually, I got a couple of friends of African persuasion.
The funny thing about that is it's not just an American thing, it's an African thing too. And we don't even do it in like an American way, we do it in our own way. Like, I can't say it to you like how we do it, I can't even do the accent because you won't understand it. You won't get the joke context because I like different environments, but we do that in an African way. So it's worldwide with black people, we do that shit.
I gotta get rid of them, man. I gotta make it. I'm finding I'm spending too much money on clothes, hanging out with them. It's like every time they go out, they got all brand new shit on. So when I show up with my white version of brand new, which is not, I ironed the shit, right? I ironed it, right? Still, they just start trashing me. I don't give a shit what fucked up color their shirt is. They got a pair of shoes to match it and a hat. It's like a rule or something. Because God forbid you wear the same shirt within a 10-day period, one of them's gonna notice. All of a sudden just look at you funny like, this motherfucker's got the same shit he had on last Tuesday.
You gotta.
Shit, I paused it right at the right time, guys. I paused it during you know what? I'm getting these like comedy like stuff like for the comedy reactions. I'm getting it from one page and they keep advertising this thing. I wonder if you know what? I should just stop being lazy and just learn to edit it out or start editing this shit out. But anyways, what I was saying was in terms of like what he just said, that's actually true, but it's not like a thing with us where it's not like we love spending. Yeah, like everyone loves spending. Didn't like white people or whatever have those jokes about like women in general, like women like spending so much money. It's not a people's thing. I think it's just of how we are raised. Especially me from my experience and the experiences that I've seen around me. Our parents, our African parents or whatever, not just in America, in Africa, like they always stress us about being presentable. I remember like when I was small, going to the mall, just going to the mall, I wasn't just allowed to just dress normally or dress comfortably. I had to dress up to the T. I had to look very fancy, very presentable, very going to the mall, and then I'd go and then I'd see all these other races of like people, like what you call like Indians, whites, Asians, whatever, and then they'd be like dressed normally. Some of them would have their kids with them, like, and their kids would be dressed in pajamas. They'd be very comfortable, and these people have more money than us. Like, they have more money than we ever had, and they dress normally. But we, people who have less money, have to dress so fancy, and it was very irritating, guys. It's very, and it's a thing with our parents. I think it's like a thing of like they're so worried about being judged within our race, because our race generally, like, yeah, it does become like a judgy thing because everyone is like that. Everyone is like, dress your kids like that, dress your kids like that. And then on top of that, they always worried about what the other racial communities think. Like I remember even like sometimes growing up, my parents would be like, oh no, we're going to this person and that person's house and they're Indian, or we're going to like a white person's house or whatever. You have to, they're going to say 1, 2, 3 about us. They're going to think 1, 2, 3 about us. They're very worried about like y'all's opinion. Whereas us new age kids, we more like, me personally, I have friends of all races, honestly. I'm just like, I'm collecting them like Pokemon. So I personally don't care. And thank God I'm older now, so my parents can't tell me what to do, and I pretty much do what I want. My mom gives me like a little bit of like the eye, but pretty much she leaves me alone. And like I'm comfortable with all races, where I don't think like, oh, you guys are gonna judge me 1, 2, 3. I don't give a fuck even if you say anything, But them, they really give a fuck. That's why it's like that.
Actually funny, you know what? That's actually how I judge black guys now. When I first came to the city, like, all black people scared me. I was like the typical white dude from like the suburbs, you know what I mean? Had no frame of reference, My only frame of reference with black people was like, remember those early 90s gangster rap videos? Throw the LA riots in there, man. Horrible PR. I'm watching the videos, so he's got nice cars, he's got all the women, and he's still fucking mad. These black dudes are never happy. But after 10 years of living in the city, this is how I narrow it down. Whether black dude scares me or not. Black dudes with dirty sneakers scare the fucking shit out of me. I figured out in my head, because I know from hanging out with them, that's the last shit that they're gonna let go. The immediate shit that they have on. So I think, if his sneakers are fucked up, that means his life is fucked up. Every time he leaves his building, the whole neighborhood, oh shit! Everyone starts making fun of him. He's on the train.
I'm looking at my sneakers right now. I'm looking at my Jordans and everything. I just watched them today. Fuck you, Bobo.
In a bad mood, I kind of have this howdy doody, kind of mug me kind of face. I'm not saying something's gonna happen, I'm just saying, I'm paying attention.
Be back here down the south, man. I had a real weird experience last time I came down here. I was in Nashville, right? Sort of an awkward social situation, right? I'm sitting at this bar, there's this white dude sitting like 2 stools away. I don't know him, he doesn't know me. And that Terrell Owens story was in like sports news, so I try to make conversation. I'm like, man, look at this guy. This guy just signed a $40 million contract. He's already bitching, man. How much money do you need to make? And the dude looks at me, he's like, you know what I say? And then he looked over his shoulder, which I now know is the telltale sign that the N-word is coming, and it's coming hard. Oh yeah, it's not going to be pronounced with the A, it's going to be with the R, and he hit the R, he like stuck the landing. There was like a dismount, Klan members high-fiving in the background, like doing the wave. Just out of nowhere, so now immediately I'm looking over my shoulder like, dude, what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? I'm waiting for like this hail of black fists to come raining down on top of me. I hate when people do stuff like that. That dude made me part of like a potential ass kicking that I had nothing to do with. You don't do shit like that. He just had that word hot potato and just threw it in my lap. Trying to pass it down to the next white dude. I hate when people do that, man. It's like, dude, feel me out first. questions. Do you like to fish? Have you ever fucked your sister, right? I start rattling off answers, then you go old school. You give me a pamphlet, you tell me about your militia. Don't just dive into it. That dude was one of the angriest people I ever met. I should have known that word was coming because he was just watching Terrell, right? Anytime I would bring up, look at man, that guy's talking trash, he just like flip out. He won't shut up! You know, those people get like so mad they're not even looking at you. Their eyes are up, you just shut up and play the game! You know what's funny? I don't even like Terrell, but now I love the guy. Because every time I see him talking trash, I know this idiot in Nashville is just losing his mind, like kicking over his kitchen TV. Shut the fuck up!
Oh wow, that's it. Okay. In the middle of that, even before as I finish, it was even making me think of some people. Like what I've noticed about racism is some people, they're not really racist. You know, some racists are not really racist. They usually have some shit happening within that makes them emotionally imbalanced or angry, or like the emotions are up and in the air and shit. And then they're influenced towards that path as a form of like redirecting their pain towards something that's destructive and can hinder them from having a productive life with their fellow man. Those type of people honestly deserve our understanding and like our way to show them that there's a better path, and like your anger is not with us, you know, as black people or whatever. But then there's other people who are just brainwashed from birth to just believe like they're better than not just even black people, they believe to be better than Mexicans or Asians or Middle Easterners or whatever it is, bro. They're taught to believe that, I don't know, you know, they put science within, they're superior, 1, 2, and then some people they're given the reverse, black people, they're superior with 1, 2, I don't know, our animal genetics, 1, 2, you know. So some people, they're literally brainwashed into thinking some of these things, you know what I'm saying? So those people, then it's like, shit, let's start I don't know what step we're going to take to not brainwash you, because every time you talk, you can even tell they're calm about it. But the other emotional ones, you can tell they're not really racist, because they'll be screaming about something that makes no sense so passionately, and they'll be trying to be as offensive as possible. And as someone who can really be offensive, like I learned how to really be offensive as like a defense mechanism, you know, growing up, you know. They're really lame at even insulting people. They're really lame at even like they'll go for the most obvious thing, you know, the most obvious thing you can say to a black person to insult them and degrade them. Which honestly, if you're a person of a certain level, honestly, like me, I'm sorry to have an ego about it. I'm not gonna get offended because I know how to say like something to you that will really hurt. So you can tell it's just an emotional imbalance, and they deserve calm and understanding. Or if you are to get into an altercation with them, Floyd Mayweather, bro, be strategic. Be Money Mayweather, not Pretty Boy. You know, don't break your hands over their faces trying to knock them out. But that's been me. Like, comment, subscribe with the post notifications. Thank you for joining me today, and you guys have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.
You can tell them all it's way too late. Way too late. Way too late to stay in this bit. Whole lot of Stevens been trying to even the odds. You should just play with your wrist. One hit of critics from niggas who wait till legit, but I'm still trying to feed it the ride. I had a slip up when Shotty was giving